Hello everyone and welcome back to the third instalment of the Laravel Livewire chat application series. So I know it's been a while since I last uploaded. That's just been down to personal reasons. I've had a lot of freelance work on and also my day job, and it's been really hard to get a tutorial recorded. I was trying to record one earlier in the week but I didn't get a chance to. So I just want to get this recorded before I go on annual leave for a week. So yeah, I think going forward what I'm going to do is record maybe a 1 hour video and split that up into episodes as such. At least that way I've always got something to upload throughout each week and you're not left waiting for the next installment. So I know at the end of the last episode I said I was going to implement it so that when you click a different chat, the chat messages change. As simple as that, that is what I want to get implemented in this episode. So let's make a start. So what I'm going to do first is create a active chat variable on the Livewire component. This is going to house the active chat. Obviously, when we first load the chat Livewire component, there's not going to be a chat that's clicked on. So what we want to do is get the latest chat, and that will be in our mount method. Just commenting that up there. So what we're going to do is get the latest chat and set that to the active chat. So let's DD out our chats. As you can see, we've got an array. As expected, 2 chats, and neither of them at the minute have actually got a created app. So that's going to be a bit annoying. So let's go into our database. Let's go to our chats and let's give them a created app and an updated app. And let's change that. Or would we do it on last chat messages? Let's get the latest created one first, but I think what we're eventually going to do is order these on the relationship from chats to chat messages. Chat. So we've got the messages. So what I want to do is order the chats on the latest message received, but we can save that for the next episode. And let's just get the basic functionality of changing chats in this episode. So this chat's latest, and let's DD that. Is that not working? Not sure why that's not working. Chatbot chats does not exist. Yeah, okay. So what I had previously might actually work. And let's just verify that is the latest one. 23, 22, 23, 18. There we go. Perfect. So let's set this to the active chat when the component is mounted. And then what we want to do is change our for each loop on these messages to active chat messages as message. And then if we go back to our component, there's no messages. And let's just verify that is the case. So it's against ID 1 in this instance, and that is correct. So if I insert a row, 1, and let's give it user ID 1, test message group chat. Perfect. So we've got the latest chat in terms of created app loading by default when you load the component. So now let's change the chat messages. And let's also change this to green if it's active as well. Let's get that in place. So what we're going to do is go back to our code, looping through our chats on the left hand side. So what we want to do, let's just see if that class works first and foremost. Yes, it does. So chat ID equals active chat ID. So there we go. We've got the green text on the active chat. What we're also going to do is add a wire click to this chat navigation chat clicked. Don't think we need those brackets on the end. So what this is doing first is checking the chat ID as we're looping through the chats is equal to the active chat ID. If it is, add that class to it. If not, don't add a class at all. That's how we're getting the green text first and foremost. And then what I've also added is a wire click event, which is going to run this function on the component when it's clicked. So if we then create that function, and what we also want to do is pass the chat ID. So if we then DD out the chat ID, after we've added that as a parameter to the function, we should see the chat ID get DD'd out on the front end. So get the right window, click 2, 1. Perfect. So now all we really need to do is get the chat record, set the active chat variable to the chat record, and we're done. So let's do that. First and foremost, let's get the chat record. This chats with ID, chat ID first. Chat record. So we give it a click. Chats does not exist. Let's do auth user chats. I'm not sure why this chat isn't working. Maybe because it's not too sure. Column ID, we're ambiguous. So chat with chats. There we go. We've got the chat record. Test group chat, test group chat. So then all we really need to do is set this active chat to the chat record. So now if we give it a refresh, try it, we have got real-time switching of the chats. And as you can see, because of that class that we're adding to the active chat, it's also changing when we click a different chat. So that already makes this application work a little bit better than what it did. And we can now change between different chats and it will load their respective messages. What I think we should do in the next episode is look at adding a message to the chat that is active. And I think at this point you've probably got an idea of how it would work. But the way it would work is we would have, would it be a wire click or a wire submit? I think it would be a wire click event for this button. So similar to what we've done on the chat, and we'd get the value of this input. We would then push that and link that to the active chat, which we would already have access to because we've got the active chat variable in the component. So it would just be a case of creating a record between the active chat and the logged in user that's sending that message. And then the messages should technically update real time on the front end. However, if they don't, we've got a way around that as well. We can have a refresh function, or we can use something called wire polling, which will run a function on the component at different intervals. So we could have the chat messages refresh every second. So it'll run a function on the back end on the component, and all the back end component function would do is look at the active chat and get the latest messages for the active chat. For that to work, we'd need an active chat messages variable, which we then refresh with the updated messages. And all we'd really need to do is change this to active chat messages and delete this. But again, I think that's better for another episode. This is a nice short simple episode just to get this working, and I feel like that's good progress and already bringing this system together. So let's see where we get to in the next episode and go from there. I hope this quick tutorial was useful, and as always, if you did like the video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. It lets me know that people are interested in seeing these tutorials, and hopefully I can continue to improve the videos and teach you something along the way. So thank you for watching, and see you next time.